Gemini, hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to be here with you always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to take a deep dive into your energy for the next week or two via the tarot, astrology, any channeled messages that come through. And I'll also incorporate some Ayurvedic or holistic wellness practices that we can implement in order to just strengthen ourselves, mind, body, soul. So let's get into it. It's been a little bit rough. We're in the midst of Leo season, but there's been a lot going on astrologically. A reshuffling of sorts. We just finished out our previous eclipse season with this full moon in Aquarius that happened last week. We are coming up on a new eclipse season with the new moon in Leo, which is happening in a few days on the 12th. New moon is a solar eclipse. So, and we're in Leo season, which is a lot about our courage, our confidence, the way we express ourselves, how we're putting ourselves out to the world, and really kind of claiming that power. I've seen this kind of just all across the board. It does cater to some combative energy, for sure. There's definitely been tension, frustration, etc. that has been playing out in the collective. It's kind of like this divide between, like, I feel like people who really need to prove themselves, really need to make their point, and then people who are, yes, like trying to stand in their own confidence and power, but like don't need to kind of bulldoze people over in the process. So it can just bring a lot of tension and difficulty. It's not all bad. We're feeling a lot of tense effects, not only from that full moon in Aquarius, but even just the way the astrology has been going. We had a lot going on with that full moon, then it kind of quieted down, and now it's re-enlivening. So there's just a lot, right? And what I do love about Leo is it does help us claim our power. It does help us find our confidence, especially in places where maybe we haven't before, or we've kind of shied away, or maybe not just said what we needed to say, right? Like projected our truth, said our truth, whatever that looks like for you. So it does bring some good attributes with it, right? At the same time, we need to remember that we don't want to let that arrogance, that pride, which is definitely Leo the lion, overshadow the reality of things. There has been a focus on those base, more primitive instincts of ego, control, manipulation, forcing the agenda, etc. We're seeing this in the astrology with a magic triangle, which is pretty fabulous, where it's essentially our spiritual growth, evolution, this opportunity to really engage in that, or, you know, making choices that might be a little bit more destructive. And I don't think the destruction is necessarily bad right now, because I feel like the destruction is happening in order to cultivate and create change. And if you even want to look, maybe you're experiencing this in your own life. Hopefully it's not too intense. I'm always sending love and good vibes, always, with whatever you're navigating, because life can be pretty messy, right? But we're also seeing this on a grand scale, is essentially what I was getting at. You know, just like people or situations in the culture and like that have more of a face, you know, in our society or whatever, global, national, political, celebrity, all that stuff. There's a lot of shakeup that's happening, and it's a good shakeup. I'm a huge believer in that. Pluto just moved into Aquarius. It's finally settling in Aquarius. It is in retrograde right now. We have a lot of planets in retrograde right now, just as a side note, which does help us slow down and kind of assess before we make decisions. But Pluto is a representative of destruction, kind of destroying the old patterns, the old habits, so that we can rebuild and rise again and start new life cycles. So there's a lot going on, and you might be, I'm assuming, feeling the effects of that, right? That's also why I'd like to start the readings off with an energy cleansing, just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might be coming into blocks, limitations. It's a really good time to set your own intention, especially if you have been having something on your heart, on your mind, something's been weighing on you, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It really is a great way to personalize these collective readings. You can also skip ahead if the blessing is not your vibe. No worries at all. I put the chapters down below, and you will still receive the blessing and the good vibes. I also offer a variety of healing wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you're interested in more of a rebalancing of self, alignment of your mind, your body, your soul. I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. Because when we are aligned in self, that's really where we're tapping into our happiness, our fulfillment, our abundance. And I would love to help support you in that in whatever way possible. You totally deserve it. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. I am in the process of working on my website. It's not up quite yet, soon. But until then, definitely shoot me an email. I would love to connect. All right, Gemini, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Mama Love. Amen. I feel like you're in this process of trying to sort something out. Like, I feel like something that's actually a little heavy, something that feels, I don't know, like you feel like people or situations are misinterpreting you. You feel like you have to make some choices that feel a little heavy, that feel a little painful this week. This play card has actually been coming out for us a lot lately. Maybe the heaviness has kind of taken away from your ability to enjoy life or engage in life in a way that makes you feel a little bit more grounded and present. Because I'm seeing that like you're kind of lost in whatever is going on, like getting swept up in the drama, in the chaos, in the projections of other people, maybe what they think, what they feel about you, or what they're saying about you. And it feels confusing, right? Like, I don't know, maybe there are some elements of the truth, or maybe you just are completely unaware as to where some of this stuff is coming through. And it does feel like it's throwing you off. But it does look like Spirit's saying, like, take some time to play, to have fun, to not be so serious is how I'm hearing that. We get the Ask Body card, and a lot of times when we're dealing with hurt, pain, frustration, triggering, it shows up in certain places within our body. Our lungs are the place that we hold grief. The heart is the container of consciousness. Our mind is how we articulate, how we process what's actually happening in our world, the way that we kind of compartmentalize, and there's a lot of different symbolism and aspects. If that's something you want to get into, you can definitely Google it, research it, etc. if you want to dive in a little bit deeper. I'm a huge proponent of Ayurveda. They have marma point therapy, or you can look at acupuncture points and specifically in relation to kind of how they hold certain emotions within the body. I feel like you have been holding on to some things. And I also feel like maybe even some of the things that you're going through right now, like some of those projections or some of the stuff that you're trying to figure out, is not even like relevant to you. Like maybe you wouldn't care on a normal day, but because of some of the stuff that you have been storing in your body, it just feels that much more impactful. And it does look like you are trying to like release and let go of some of that. But it does also look like it's going to take a little bit of work, a little bit of effort, and maybe effort that you're not, as of right now, I guess what I'm picking up is like, you don't really want to go down that road quite yet. Or maybe you're just not able to quite yet. Maybe you've just been in this space where, it's easier to coast. It's easier to kind of just like get by as much as you can so that you can get through it. I feel like there are some realities around some things that you're dealing with that don't feel very pleasant. And the questions or the things that are popping up for you are making it hard. Like, it's making it hard to dive deeper. We have the Alchemist in reverse. I don't necessarily read reversals, but if we're going to take it from that perspective, it is about places that we're limiting our alchemy. And I would see this as like maybe sticking your head in the sand, maybe not wanting to acknowledge, maybe not being able to really put language to what something has been doing. But it does feel a little bit like it's messing with you this week in the way that it is forcing you to kind of disconnect. It's forcing you to, the soul work is in your blocked energy. It's forcing you to disconnect. Like, again, you don't want to go down that road. And I'm not here to tell you like that's bad and wrong. I think things come up in their own time. And I think it's really important to give yourself the space and the grace that you need. There's no rush, right? Like, we're not on this like, certain like goal-oriented time scale, right? Like, you can actually just take the time that you need to. And I feel like this is something that you need to, because it feels like it's something heavy. It feels like it's something that you don't completely understand. And I'm not really sure that it's about you. Like, what I'm picking up is this is karma, or this is like other people's projections, or like whatever. It's their bad treatment of you, whatever, however that's coming through. It has these undertones, like it's not specifically about you, but it's really easy to internalize it that way, or that's how you have been internalizing things. And because we are in Leo season, also Venus just moved into Libra, which is highlighting partnerships and relationships and what those dynamics actually look like. We also got that with the full moon in Aquarius. So a lot is being revealed right now. And I feel like that's where the challenge is for you, right? Like, again, it's not a bad thing, but it does feel a little bit like I just don't want to go down that road, because it feels a little bit hurtful and painful. And maybe it is kind of hard to acknowledge the truth around certain relationships. We're getting 6 of Swords. Something is transitioning. Something is moving forward. And what I do love about the 6 of Swords energy, okay, we have the Lovers, which is your card, right? So what I do love about the 6 of Swords is it does talk about like transition into more peaceful place. Like, you're leaving something that is a little bit chaotic behind. But it's also interesting the way it's depicted on this card, because she's very much looking at what the past is. And perhaps that's why you don't have to look at something too closely this week, because it is in the past, or it's starting to be in the past, or it is something that you are moving on from. And yes, we will clarify the Lovers, but it does look like you have some strong connections with certain people or dynamics that you are working with. It doesn't specifically have to be love, but it is an energy of connection, of relationship, of harmony, of working together, feeling really limited by these dynamics. And I don't know, like, maybe this is really interesting, like maybe like dealing with some people that aren't putting a lot of emotion or feeling into how they're approaching you, treating you. With the Justice card, it's a very analytical energy. It is Libra energy. It's the right and wrong. It's the good and bad. It's trying to evaluate the most logical or rational perspective without putting a lot of feeling involved. And that's what you're getting met with. You're getting met with a lot of Swords energy. And so that's where it feels maybe not fair, or something that hurts you, right? Like, maybe you need someone or something to have a little bit more compassion, and they're really struggling to do that. And it feels like it's putting you in this position that you can't really get out of, or that it is, there might be a little bit of misinterpretation is what I'm seeing. Not understanding why certain people are approaching you in a certain way. Protecting, like someone's protecting their space, someone's protecting their autonomy, and then you therefore are protecting yourself. Like, there's a lot of miscommunication. There's a lot of different, there's a lot of like miscommunication. There's a lot of difference of opinion. No one's talking to each other. Everyone's just assuming. And then the assumptions are kind of leading to a more negative space. And again, maybe something that you don't even really want to be a part. And again, maybe something that you don't really even want to be a part of. Like, this feels like you can't really, well, without direct communication, this feels like it's really hard to get clarity around. But I can understand that, because it looks like someone doesn't want to budge. You know, they're approaching you with a very sterile disposition, not a lot of feeling, not a lot of emotion, and almost assuming like you should get it and you should understand. But then they don't really want to explain. They don't really want to explain why they're doing what they're doing. And for you, I think there's a lot of questions. Yes, 8 of Swords is when we limit ourselves, but it's also a limitation based off of what is being communicated to you, whether it's direct communication or indirect communication. And as you move forward, like, I don't know, someone's protecting their peace, and the way that you're interpreting it is almost like, not that you've done something wrong or bad, but I just feel like it almost feels a little bit unfair, or that's how you're perceiving it. Like, why are you protecting your peace from me? Maybe you need to get clear on what a relationship is for you. Okay, so we have the King of Swords. Again, a lot of air energy. A lot of energy of like decision, and 9 of Pentacles. Yeah. Someone's making a choice to kind of separate themselves. And we're even seeing this with the 7 of Wands. I really love this card. I think it's really beautiful. And I think sometimes we do need to do this, but in the way that it's showing up for you, it feels very much like someone doesn't want a deal. They don't want a deal. This is also like sticking their head in the sand. Like, there's a lot of mirroring energy happening for you this week. Sticking their head in the sand, maybe making the most logical decision. And it's also hard for them. I don't think that this is easy, but they're choosing to do it to quote unquote protect their peace. Let's see if there is conversation between you two, because yep, okay. Maybe things that you're saying this week are a little bit jarring for them. 2 of Pentacles. It looks like you do have a lot to say. It feels like a lot comes out, maybe even a lot that you're not really expecting to come out. There's our 7 of Swords. Things that you haven't really divulged, things that are important to you, and maybe aren't necessarily the true perspective is what I want to say. But I feel like also, like, the way that the dynamic is being managed, you'd really have no other reason to think that that's not how it was playing out. Someone's not really helping, you know, if anything, their actions are kind of hindering, or there's a lot of assumptions, or, you know, it just kind of has this energy of like, someone's not helping the situation, but then also kind of penalizing you when you have either a bad reaction or you accuse them of something that's not really true, right? And if anything, I feel like these conversations need to be had. I don't think they're easy conversations. It does look like someone might be shutting you down. It looks like someone's shutting you down and shutting you out. Because even if some of this comes to light, even if you do have a conversation about how you feel and what you think and what you need, it's not being received. It's not being received at all. It looks like someone's kind of turning their back on you and using that information as a way to like find their own happiness, right? Whatever that means to them. 10 of Cups, the Empress, and the Magician. Double confirmation on the Magician. So it feels like someone's deliberately trying to push the direction in a certain way, right? Like, there's certain things that they want to see happen. Page of Cups. It's not really a serious offer. If anything, you're kind of seeing the disconnect with how much they do really care about you. The Devil. Ooh. Messy, messy, messy. Messy, messy, messy. Someone's definitely pulling back their energy. I'm not surprised that the Devil comes up for you. The Devil, 8 of Wands. It feels like fears are coming true this week, and the 5 of Swords. Like, it feels like, and I think that it's someone else's stuff that is getting projected onto you, but the way it happens for you is jostling, you know. It kind of shakes life up a little bit for you, and it's something that you're not really, like, yes, I think you can feel the undercurrents, I think you can feel the undertones, but you don't necessarily want to believe that that's what it is. But as things progress, you're seeing like, okay, this is what it is. And even though that can feel a little bleak when we see the reality of something that we don't really want to see, or that we wish it weren't that way, I feel like that's also kind of aligning you a lot better with this alchemist energy, in the way that it's better to have real information, true information, than false information. And this could even be someone who is kind of stringing you along or putting you in an awkward position. Like, I'm not sitting here saying that this energy is like, good, or like that their intentions are pure towards you. Because if anything, it feels like it's not taking you as an individual or the relationship into account, so there can be better results for everyone involved. If anything, it feels a little bit lopsided on this end, and maybe as things come out, it's a huge wake-up call for them, and they're just like, nope, I'm actually going to protect my sacred space. I'm going to make sure that I'm not putting myself in a position that's going to hurt or harm me. Energetic alignment, align your energy centers. Balance brings clarity and peace. I think that this is a rebalancing of the energy. I think this energy needs to be sorted out. I think it needs to be hashed out. And we're seeing this a lot right now in the astrology, where things are just popping up in a way where it's not pleasant. It's not the most pleasant, but it is helping things rebalance. It's flatlining and helping us start over from scratch, or maybe not from scratch, but just with a more informed disposition. Mirror of truth, higher vibration. Intuition reflects the truth like a mirror. Trust what you perceive. Keep your vibration high and your intuition will stay sharp. So really make sure that you're like taking care of yourself this week, the next few weeks. It's hard to do when we're moving through a lot of heaviness, a lot of heavy time, a lot of heavy spaces. Rest is very important right now. Self-love, self-care, all of that is going to energetically align you with your intuition, with a higher vibration, with more peace, more grounding, more understanding, the light within. You carry a light that guides you through darkness. Trust it. You don't have to succumb to the darkness, is what I'm hearing, Gemini. And again, well, it's dark for you because whatever someone's saying or doing, it is provoking some wounding. It's triggering something within you that feels like rejection. It feels like grief. It feels like sadness. It feels like someone's not meeting you where you're at. And in a way that feels really vulnerable, right? Like someone took advantage is what I'm hearing. But also just remember, right? Like your light will guide you. And I know that's so cliche, and I know that really doesn't help when we're in the thick of it. But what I love, Maharishi Mahesh has this saying, you can only light a light with light, right? So it's that value of what we put our focus on, what we put our intention, that is going to magnify, that is going to grow. And, when we're in those darker spaces, the best thing we can do for ourselves, self-love, self-care, practice a routine that's really going to honor your body, your mind, your soul. And that's going to give you the stability to move through some of these things. And I think it's kind of hard right now because maybe it's easy to just avoid, or maybe you've gotten used to like avoiding in general, or kind of like compartmentalizing things, putting it on the back burner, not having to deal with it. But I'm also seeing like you really want to safeguard yourself from that, right? Like prepare yourself. This is a preparation energy of giving yourself the strength, the courage that you deserve in order to be successful, in order to overcome some of these harder parts of life. Yeah, so you can make empowered decisions. I love this. Intuition empowers your decisions, and trust your compass. I'm hearing you're going to need to be honest about certain things, honest in a way that might not be comfortable for everybody to hear. But that honesty is actually going to help move you forward. It's going to help push the needle forward in a way that maybe like you haven't been expecting or anticipating, or you thought it wasn't going to happen. Or if I can just skeet under the radar, everything will be fine. And it's not, right? It's not fine. You're kind of seeing that, or it's some of this stuff is coming up. And again, maybe in a way that you don't want to deal, but also like not dealing is just going to make matters worse. It's not always easy. It's not always easy to go through the fire, right? But when we do, it is a powerful transformation. I love the idea of the phoenix energy, where we burn away the old and we rise again from the ashes, from a space of empowerment. And that's really what you deserve, Gemini. You deserve to feel empowered, especially in positions where you feel like you've been put down or taken advantage of, or someone's not giving you your fair shake. You totally deserve that. So I hope this helps. I'm sorry it was a little bit heavy. It's a heavy time of year. As much as I love the empowerment of Leo season, there's a lot of heaviness that's coming with it. So all Godspeed, all the love, all the blessings. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I super appreciate you. Thank you for showing up to the channel. Thank you for the reading. Thank you for all the support. Definitely drop comments below. I'd love to know if it resonates, or just share in a little love, little TLC. It also helps the channel so much, and I appreciate all the support that you bring my way. No, it blesses my heart just as well, and I'm sending love and blessings back to you.